G'day everybody, and welcome back to another speed build for The Sims 4. And today what I thought I would do is a build for the relatively new expansion pack Jungle Adventures. And this is a villa or a property that you can rent when you go adventuring in the jungle. Now, I have to first of all preface this with a little bit of a disclaimer. I recorded this build, I finished this build, and as I went to start taking photos, my game crashed and I had not saved, not once during the build. So I had to recreate the build to be able to upload it to the gallery for you. So the build that you download may look a little different from this, like subtle, like placement, furniture placement. There'll be a couple of additions, plants may have moved, but the essence of the build is the same. So you'll see when we get to the photos. But what I thought I would do is, because this is such a tropical type of setting, I don't know whether you're listening from or watching from, or what country you're watching from, and I'd love to hear in the comments where you're from and where you take your vacations. But Aussies, and particularly those that live on the west coast, our playground is Bali, and I personally love it. I love the Balinese people. I love the tropical weather. I love I love everything about Bali. I love the food. I like the smell in the air. That's sort of a mixture of like I guess rotting vegetation, and in a good way, and incense, and the occasional waft of cow pat or whatever. You know, you take it with for what it is. But I really love it there. And so what I thought I would do is recreate a Balinese style villa for our jungle adventures. And the finished build comes complete with 3 rooms, and it will sleep 6 Sims. So it's 2 double bedrooms and 1 with twin beds that you'll see in the photos, but during the build you will see that that room has double beds in it. So first of all, here we're going is we've got our 3 rooms mapped out, each with their own bathroom. And in Bali, often your eating and seating is outdoors, just under a roof. So this is what we've got. We've got a little kitchen area and some outdoor dining and seating, which you'll see once we start to furnish. If you go and rent a luxury villa, or even a moderately inexpensive villa, they often come what they call serviced, which is with a chef and, or at least a cook, and a cleaner that will clean your rooms, and the cook will provide your meals, or the chef will provide your meals for you. And so this is set up like a little commercial kitchen, rather than a kitchen that you would expect a Sim to use themselves in a home. So you can see double sink, double stove, and in a minute we do a little bit of an expansion, because I realize there's probably not enough room. And I love some of this new stuff. I've incorporated some of the laundry day stuff because oh, excuse me, sorry. Some of that has got some really bright sort of tropical feeling bits and pieces in it as well. And excuse me while I take a sip of my tea. I'm trying to sort out furniture now. Again, when you go to Bali, they often have quite ornate. It's heavily based around handmade or wooden type furniture. So I was trying to get the feel in this, and you see I changed the dining table, that it was that dark wood that they would have used from local plantation or local forest. So I go through a few changes, and yeah, so I've done with that. I'm a little bit of an shiny builder. As you're aware, I choose color schemes first before I start or use the tiles and the paint as inspiration for my finishing. So also in Bali, all of the floors would be tiled. So, and there you go, we're expanding our kitchen because I decided we didn't have enough room, not just for cooking, but for placing out of food. Oftentimes the food in Bali, regardless of the meal, is often offered buffet style. So we need a bit of bench space. And I tried to make this pool, sort of decorate it like it was a bit of a, it'd been designed to look like it was a pool in the jungle while still being an actual swimming pool and service. So excuse me, sorry, it is very early in the morning here, and this build took me about 3.5 hours to do. And you'll see it's all tested, so it's live tested, so, or live tested. So you'll see our little sim at a later date. But these are the new beds that came with the Jungle Adventure. I really like them. They have a real Aztec-y feel to me, and I thought they were appropriate to that sort of tropical setting. And each room has a bed and a little sitting area, and again, this is characteristic of probably hotel rooms everywhere, but my biggest experience with staying in villas and things is that they often have that beautiful seating area, and it's, you know, set up not just as a casual or an occasional chair. It's set up as a little seating area, so you would expect desks, you would expect couches and things. So we've set this up, oh gosh, with a master with a couch and a couple of chairs, and then just the occasional chairs in the two minor rooms. Now, I was having a real struggle with the curtains. Again, in Bali, they have such a range of window treatments that they use. And the reason for that is some rooms you have, you know, just these pale floaty curtains that allow the light in, but in a lot of cases, particularly for tourists, they want to shut their rooms up and have like something that will block out the light and the heat in the daytime. So I've gone ultimately for these curtains that look like they would be block-out curtains that you could pull across and block the heat and the light out completely, because in the middle of the day you're all flat on your backs on your beds, you know, steaming and having a rest in the daytime in the air conditioning. So and I've gone with these curtains all the way through. Again, I think they're actually not from either pack, but the swatch might be a new one. What's it from? Can I quickly have a look? Yeah, no, it's from, I think, City Living. And a little bit of a pause here. I have no idea why there's a pause, but when you live in a household as busy as mine, it could entirely be an interruption, because I did video this a couple of days ago. And so now just working on the decorative things, the touches that you would have in a villa, but you don't want to make it too personalised, because if you're going on holidays, you wouldn't have photographs of your family. You wouldn't have, well, you might take some with you, but you wouldn't expect them to be there before you arrive. You would expect, you know, local art on the walls. You would expect some, what would you call generic decorations. And I've shown you everything here, including all of the bathrooms are identical. They're not nothing, you know, special. Most of the hotels and villas that I've stayed at in Bali, and I've been a few times, provide toiletries, but they don't provide things like robes. They don't, you know, provide you with anything like that. So they do provide usually towels, and uh, the I was going to say, usually they provide you with one of those, a generic floor mat. So I haven't included bath rugs or bath mats in these, it's just simply because it's not kind of the style that I was going through. Sorry, mental blank there. So you can see that all three of these bathrooms are pretty well identical, and you will, when you download it, if you don't have any of the packs, each of the items are easily replaceable. Um, you know, a lot of it's from the base game. Some of it, like the floor tiles, is from the Jungle Adventures. You can replace them with other floor tiles. My recommendation, if you are going to pick another tile, would be something along the lines of a terracotta or white. And anybody who's been to Bali would know, if you've been to Kuta, if you've been to any of the shopping areas, if you've been to Matahari's, if you've been to Centro, if you've been to any of those, you would know that there's white, gloss white tiles everywhere, on the floor, on the walls, easy to keep clean, easy for the rain to wash everything away. And there is a lot of rain. Now, you know, the first time I went to Bali, I was looking at these giant curbs. You know, when you step down from the sidewalk or the footpath down into the road, the curb is about, now we're metric here, about 30 centimeters. If you're not from a metric country, you'd say about a foot, just over a foot. And I wondered why these curbs were so high until it rained. And in 30 minutes, it dumped enough water for in some places for that water to be lapping against the tops of those curbs. So this is why it tiles everywhere. Carpet in anything is very rare. You do get your hotel rooms carpeted, but often they are tiled, simply because you come in from the rain, you don't want to be dripping, you know, onto carpet, and most hotels wouldn't want to deal with that. So, but of course you do get carpet, depending on where you're staying. So just including a few of these gorgeous vases from Jungle Adventures and these gorgeous hanging plants. Now, again, everything in Bali has something growing up the wall somewhere, so it was really nice. Those beautiful hanging vines, some with the flowers, just stunning. And I actually have personally taken photos of the one with the little red, see that one there you can see to the left. Those flowers are the actual ones that I see often hanging in Bali, and have taken photos of them myself. So now we're just doing a bit of landscaping, getting that real lush, overgrown jungle feel into the interior of this build. And again, the gardens in what you download will be almost identical, but not quite. But they are overgrown, they are lush, they are slightly unruly. And again, in Bali, you see gardeners all the time. They are, you know, always clipping a lawn or trimming a bush or planting something new. Everything grows so beautifully there. And it really is, if you like the feel of that overgrown, lush, almost having to use a machete to cut your way to your room feel, then, you know, Bali is one of the places that that you would really love. And the people there are so friendly. And oh God, yes, they'll try and sell you just about anything. You want something made, you want something found, you want something to do, they will have, they'll sell you something. But they're always so friendly and so welcoming and so warm. And part of the Balinese culture is that to be considered a good host or a good hostess, your guests should be happy all the time, and they should be smiling. And so they often will make jokes, and often it's at their own expense, but they think they are that it's funny as well. So you know, I really love that self-deprecating sort of humor that they really have. So we're just about finished. As you can see, I've put little outdoor retreat areas where you can go and sit if you want to sit outside. They are open to the air. They're not under cover. Often the rooms in Bali will have chairs outside the doors so that you can go and sit. For those people, and I'm certainly not condoning smoking, but for those people that do smoke, you know, you can sit outside and have a cigarette and just enjoy a little bit of fresh air. So, and as I always stress, don't forget your terrain painting when you're building. It helps to make it look like the plants are growing in soil, because they don't just usually grow up out of grass, even though things are so overgrown in Bali. So we're just, you know, doing the final touches, naming it. It is called the Villa Chantiq, which is, Chantiq is Balinese for beautiful. So there you go, you've learned a little bit. It's not Indonesian, it's Balinese, and Bali has its very own language, but it's rarely used. Most children in Bali are taught Indonesian now, and Indonesian is certainly taught in our schools here. And here is, I'm including a little bit of some things that you could do. There's a computer there. There's the little display case. Now, in the final photos, you will see I've changed these lights out. I love these ones. They, I think, came with, oh, no, I forget the pack, but I changed the lights out, and they look like they are lights from the Jungle Adventures pack, but I put some plants on them. I raised some plants up. So if you download this, this has been done. A lot of things have been moved with the move objects, so you will need that cheat, otherwise they will appear on the ground or on the floor, so you will need to raise them up. And yeah, this is just having a final look, just checking that with the different lights. And one of the things in Bali is that often the roofs are very ornate, or they have things on them. And I was just looking at the various things that I could put on them, and I finally settled for just a little bit on each of the corners. And in the final look, you will see that I've actually changed the trim color to fit in with those the little bits that I put on the roof, so that they kind of match. They look like they're attached. And yeah, we haven't put them on all, just just a few of them, just to give that sort of stylized. If you Google some photos of Balinese houses, you will see these beautiful eaves that they've done, and these beautiful roof ridge carvings that they often have. So this is available for download. I will put the link to the gallery down below. And again, I'd love to hear where you vacation. and what the places are that you like to stay at. So here we're coming up to the photos, and this is, again, you can see it's changed a little bit, but this is our Villa Chantiq. This is our kitchen dining area. And again, you can see I changed the chairs and put some rugs down. Our beautiful commercial kitchen, all glossy and white. You can see the white tiles on the floor. Our seating area with our display case, a bookcase, and a computer. And here's our Sim enjoying her pool and taking a leap into the pool and a bit of a swim. This is how it looks from the end of the pool back towards the dining area. Those beautiful vases, I love them. You don't even have to size them up. They're already giant. They're quite stunning. This is the doorway into one of the master, in fact. And this is into our master bedroom with the beautiful jungle artwork on the wall, and of course some pictures from some other packs. Our second room, again, I love those tiles. I love that you can pick up that beautiful the teal and the green and the turquoise in the tiles. This is one of the bathrooms, and you can see the reflection in the mirror. That you have everything that you need. And here's our floor plan if you wish to recreate it wherever you are today, whatever you're doing. I hope you have a good one.